Right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Golden Sky. It is Saturday, 26th of July, 2025. I'm Tom, and welcome to another episode. Thank you very much for joining me here. If you're on YouTube, like always, drop a like on the video right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and drop a comment as well. Let me know if you enjoyed the video. Let me know you're here. I love to read and see all of those. And if you're joining on the podcasts, do me a favour and drop a little 5-star rating and review. Helps me out a lot. But yes, guys, today we are going to be looking at the pre-season friendly, which just took place a couple hours ago. Liverpool 2, AC Milan 4. Unfortunately, a defeat for Arne Slot's Mighty Reds in their first friendly in 2 weeks. We won against Preston a couple weeks ago, and we lose this one after beating Stoke last week in a behind closed doors game. So first defeat of pre-season. I do want to say before we get into things, if your head's falling off about a pre-season defeat, please find it, screw it back on, put some super glue on there. You don't need to worry about pre-season results at all. If you're an Arsenal fan and you're watching this and you're thinking, oh my days, Liverpool have fallen apart, I've seen you all analysing our friendly online. You're all psychos. You've all gone full Guardiola crazy mode, and you need to just settle down because this means nada. But it would have been nice to win. It's a shame to lose, as always. And there were some things that were a little concerning that we will talk about. But the first thing we're going to do today is talk match ratings. So if you've never seen my match ratings before, this is kind of what I like to do the most. I have done, as the sun, by the way, look at the sun here, just flying through into the room. Apologies if that's kind of hurting anybody's eyes, but there it is. Can't do much about that. What were we saying? Okay, so match ratings on the Golden Sky. They are what I like to do the most. I have done these in written form for a few years. Now we're doing them in video, so I thought, why not do them today? Even though we use 20 players, we'll quick fire through these, and I'll give you some quick rules of mine for match ratings. So every player starts on a 6 when they enter the field. That's the average score that I give them. And then if they play worse, they obviously go down to 5, whatever. If they play better, they go up to 7, 8, whatever. But a 6 is if you enter the field, you do nothing, you get a 6 from me. We also don't fuck around with half points, so there's no 6.5, there's no 7.5, etc. We just do solid whole numbers. That's how we roll around here. We also talk a little bit about the player, the performance, anything I liked, anything I didn't like. Sometimes we don't even really talk about the player at all. We talk about something completely random, and then we give the player a rating. So this is where we are. We'll fire through these today. I will also mention I've bought a new filter for my microphone. It's like right here in front of me, so I can say words that have a P in them and it sounds better, apparently, such as Liverpool. Hopefully that sounded nice and crisp when I got to the P part. Oh, there we go. Hope you're all enjoying that. Okay, so we've talked for a few minutes there. Let's get into the player ratings then. So okay, we'll start things off in the goal with Alisson Becker. First minutes of pre-season today for the main man in the net. And I'll get straight into it. I'll give him a 6. I thought he was okay. Don't think he can do anything about Leao's goal, really. He absolutely fired it in. It was like a bullet, really, when it went in the net. And if he did save it, the ball just probably goes straight through his hands, leaving like a ball-shaped hole where his gloves once were. With just like flesh just flying off into the fans of Hong Kong, Ali's hands. There's fans running home with a finger. And Alisson Becker finger that's flowing into the crowd thanks to Leao's shot. But luckily, none of that happened. The ball ends up in the net and AC Milan go 1-0 up. But I'm not penalising him for that. I thought, he did fine. He looked a little rusty on the ball, perhaps. He gave Szoboszlai a tough ball in the edge of the box. Nothing happened from it, but just something I noticed. He also made some decent saves, nothing crazy. Nothing that was like really, anything to write home about. mistakes-wise. Current haircut for Alisson, always important. He's got sort of a long hair, sort of flowy style going on. He's got the beard going on. Always a fan of that. So we'll give him a 6. Good to see him get some minutes. Not much else to say really about him. So 6 for Ali. Luca Stephenson at right back. We actually lined up with a conventional right back at right back today. The 21-year-old. I thought he did all right, honestly. I thought he did okay. Look, he's against Liao, who's very, very good. He didn't set the world on fire, and there were a few times where he looked a little slow and maybe a little out of position. We'll talk about the counter-attacks when we sort of get into the review section of the match. But yeah, Liao leaves him for dead on the goal. But other than that, on the ball, I thought he was okay. Used it neat and tidy enough. Played one nice ball sort of in behind the defence for Salah to run onto at one point. Thought it was a nice weight of pass. Yeah, he did okay. I mean, is he ever going to make it at Liverpool? I'm not sure. But he's there for now. And I think for that reason, I'll also give him a 6. I don't think it was anything other than an average performance. And you got to bear in mind, these people only played half a game as well. So it's tough to make so much of an impression in just half of a match. But I'll give Stevenson a 6. Although it does seem a little bit like he struggles with the general premise of running. So that's not always ideal for a fullback. But there we are. Okay, centre-backs then, which is going to be a talking point in the review part of the video again. Gravenberch was our first centre-back today alongside Van Dijk, who we'll get to in a second. But Ryan Gravenberch plays centre-back, and I actually thought he played pretty well today overall. I'll give him a 7. I think Gravenberch today, he was one of the only players who played longer than 45 minutes. He might have been the only player. I'm not sure how many minutes Morton ended up with in the end. He came off and then came on again, but Gravenberch did play more than 45. We've got no centre-backs fit, basically, is the problem. So Gravenberch plays centre-back. Thought he did okay there. Again, not too much to write home about in the first half, apart from one pass he played where he was quite deep and he just fires the ball about 60, 70 yards. It goes like it was like when fellas in the army send them missiles that have like a homing device on them, and he'd already picked his target, and that was Rio Ngumoha's feet, and he just fired it. The ball went right over to him. It was an excellent pass, and that pretty much got him the 7. As well as in the second half when he takes the ball, no one's around him, and he thinks, fucking, I'm having a crack, and just cracks it, hits the bar, nearly scores a great goal. So that was fun. It was a shot, at least. That was good. But he looked better when he's in midfield, as you'd expect. He is a midfielder, second half, but I don't think he was a liability at centre-back, and we saw him drop there a few times last season when we needed a goal. However, I don't want to see him there all that often because he's so good in the middle. But okay performance from Gravenberch today, so we'll give him a 7, the first 7. Okay, Virgil van Dijk, the captain. Today, maybe a little too calm as you like, I think, for Van Dijk. So I'll give him a 5, honestly. For Liao's goal, he's coming across. I see what he's trying to do. He wants to make him shoot on his weaker left foot from a tight angle. But I do wonder if maybe he could have just exerted a little bit more speed and closed him down a little bit more, maybe pushed him slightly wider. Because Liao obviously scores and Virgil's a little late to get in there across. So you have to take a look at that. And then there was another situation similar on the right-hand side where he let Pulisic have a shot. This time Ali saved it. It wasn't quite as venomous. But yeah, there was just a few moments where he was looking a little rusty. You got to remember, this is his first minutes, really. He played against Stoke, but did Stoke have any attacks in that game? I'm not sure. And at times he was left on his own at the back. So it was a tricky one for him, really, today. But he didn't stamp his authority on the game as we're maybe used to seeing. So I'll give him a 5. We didn't defend well today at all. He did, however, take an overhead kick to the jaws. So you have to give him some credit for that. Some random Italian AC Milan fella just does a full overhead kick straight in Van Dijk's chops. Nearly kicked his head off. That same fan from the fellow who's got Alisson's fingers from Leao's shot, he's also got Van Dijk's head. It's been a haul for them today. So, yeah, got his head kicked off for the badge. Other than that, little too calm as you like today. So, give him a 5. Next up, we'll move on to Andy Robertson, played left back again in this sort of mix and match of youngsters and starting players and players who might be on the bench. Robbo starts again. I thought Robbo generally was pretty quiet today. He got forward well. We saw him in the advanced positions well. He did one little bit of play where he received the ball in the box and he actually sort of flicks it around the defender and was going to run. Like, the defender stuck an arm out, but I don't think it was enough for a penalty. And Robbo wasn't happy at all. You could see there was a close-up of him. He's talking to the ref, and he decides, I've had enough of this, ref, and he just starts telling him to fuck off. So that's always good. And that would have earned him a point if he'd done much more of anything else. I will say that I also enjoyed when he had the volley from outside the box because he got it on target, which is a plus for Robbo, to be honest. The ball comes to him, he takes the volley. It was easily saved by Magnan in the end, but it was a good strike. He didn't score last season, so good strike there. But like I said, it wasn't. I don't know with Robbo. Defensively, he didn't seem to be. Nothing sticks out to me when I'm thinking of him. I've rewatched the highlights as well. He didn't really appear. The only thing I can say is he seemed to dress like Wirtz today. That seemed to be what people were saying the most. Is they were getting them confused. I will say quickly. I'll just interject. The reason why players were getting so confused today is because Liverpool, for some reason, decided to play in a kit that had gold numbers on the back that were invisible when you were watching the game. You could not see these numbers. And then when you got a close-up of them, they had all like eagles and liverbirds and dragons and shit flying out of the numbers. And then we also had like a white sponsor on the back. It was mad. The scoreline said Hong Kong Festival of Football or Hong Kong Football Festival or something like that. It was a mad one. But Robbo, anyway, we are rating Robbo 6. Again, the 6 as well. Okay, Tyler Morton. Now, best thing about Morton's performance today was the fact that he showed to us all that apparently we can use roll-off, roll-on subs like a Sunday league. He started. He came off after half an hour and nobody noticed. The commentators didn't notice. The people running the production didn't notice. We went for the drinks break. We resumed the game and he was off the pitch. And then he came back on after the last drinks break. So that was weird. In the first half an hour he played, he was poor, to be honest. Look, he's okay on the ball sometimes. He looks quite silky sometimes on the ball. His technique's good, but gave it away a little too much. He gave one away. If you remember, we were playing out from the back. Alisson gave him the ball and he just passed it straight to Leao. They nearly score. That's quite poor. You know, in another day you get punished there. It's a big error. He did play a great ball through to Gakpo in the second half, but the problem was he didn't mean it, and you could tell he didn't mean it because he tries to pass it to Doak, and when Doak doesn't get it, he starts going, "Oh, you didn't get it," and then Gakpo goes through, and I bet he was thinking, "Shit, why did I pretend? Why did I say that? Why did I show everyone that I didn't mean that?" Because it was a great ball otherwise. Bonus points that he's grown a mullet. I must say, it's a real haircut he's got going on at the minute. It's like a huge mullet, and I bet you the humidity in Hong Kong isn't helping either. That thing is like Rene Higuita styles of curly at the minute. However, I will give Morton... Is a 4 too harsh? I don't think so. I'm going to give him a 4. He didn't really impress me. He gave the ball away for the goal that Milan scored when we got counter-attacked. Szoboszlai nearly won it back, but it was his pass initially that gave Milan possession. So that was an error. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 4. I wasn't that impressed, really. One man that did impress, though, was Domink Szoboszlai again. He's having a good pre-season, I think. Probably Probably our best player in this game. I'll give him an 8, and I'll give him an 8 because, first of all, let's talk about the goal. It was phenomenal, to be honest. I don't quite know how he did it. Like, do you know how good you have to be at football to just be stood there, basically still, without really looking like you're trying, and just flick the ball in the top corner? Bear in mind, the French national team goalkeeper's in the net as well for Milan. So no joke in net. Sobo was like, no problem, I'll just pop this in the top corner. What's all the fuss about, lads? So that was a brilliant goal. Gave the fans there something to cheer. And they were all going mad, weren't they? Every time there was a pass, tackle, shot, anything, they were going crazy. It was great. It was really good. So, yes, Szoboszlai, good performance. Thought he did well in the middle, back in the middle today. Not in the number 10, but a slightly deeper position. Thought he did well. Linked the play up well. I liked to see when he got the ball from the goalkeeper, he was driving forward with it well. Gave it to our wide men at the right times. Made some tackles, some sliding challenges. And I think his hair helps with that. Again, I don't know what his plan is with his hair. He just keeps growing it and growing it and growing it. But I think the long hair sort of gives him more defensive tenacity for some reason. I don't quite know if there's any truth to that, but that's just how I feel. So I give him an 8. I thought he was okay today. Maybe that's a little inflated, but it's pre-season. We're warming up. We only played 45 minutes. Give me a break. So 8 for Szoboszlai. Okay. Florian Wirtz is next up. My hero. My new favourite, I think. This guy. Flo, the German maestro. Played 45 minutes and they were beautiful. They were a beautiful 45 minutes. There's clips online of his full involvement in the game. If you haven't seen, go and watch. It's a little treat. Make yourself a little... After your tea, right, here's how you spend your night tonight, okay, Saturday night. Make your tea. Have your tea, all right? And then when you're finished, get yourself a dessert. Maybe some profiteroles. Maybe a sticky toffee pudding. Whatever. Okay, maybe some ice cream. Sit down. Put Wirtz's highlights on from that game. 4 minutes. Speed run, eating your profiteroles, and watch that clip, and you'll have a great time. It was beautiful. I give him a 7. He was, like, all that said, I think Szoboszlai was probably better in the game, but Wirtz was magic. I don't think he really gave the ball away, apart from maybe one time I can think of. Yeah, he could have had 2 assists. He should have had 2 assists. One if Salah shot, and the other if Elliott had in any way, shape or form a right leg. The play for Salah's chance was fantastic. He picks the ball up. Nice and simple, plays it out wide, makes himself available for the pass again. His touch is immaculate, it really is. He takes the ball so beautifully, pops it out wide to Mo Salah, who should have scored, but Mo really wanted to give him the ball back for the tap into the empty net. Unselfish play from Salah. If it's in the Prem, he probably shoots. But the weight of pass, the timing was brilliant from Florian Wirtz, and the touch he has is showing already. He looks sharp. I was really impressed. Played a couple good passes. One was like a crossover to Salah. A couple when he dropped deep for the ball and he was able to get us out nice and easy. He's comfortable under pressure, it seems. I loved the bit when he got the ball, takes it on the back foot again, just drives to the midfield, takes all the midfield out of the game. That was the one he played through to Elliott. Like I said, Elliott there with his peg leg. Elliott's like a pirate, like he's got one peg leg that he can't kick with or anything, and that's his right foot. We'll get on to Elliott a little bit later. But I loved the 45 minutes from Wirtz today. Even if it was only 45 minutes, that was the worst part of the game, that we couldn't see more of him. So disappointing to only see a half, but I'm excited. I'm excited to watch him more. So, yes, 7 for Flo. But now we move on to his mate, Mo Salah, who I actually thought was, to be honest, you got to say he was disappointing. And I'm going to give Salah a 5, I think, because of that chance. He could have tucked it away when Wirtz sort of put it on a plate for him. It was perfect for him on his left foot to take the shot. He wasn't far out, but he tries to be unselfish and messes up the attack. That was a shame. He also had one where he's like dancing in the box, trying to make space for a shot, and he tries to sort of curl it in the far post. just overhit it. It was another decent chance. He did have a nice volley after Robbo's volley that, if it had gone in, would have been an amazing goal. It went just wide. I think a few of the fans thought it went in, so that was fun. Also, Salah's hair at the minute, he's just having a laugh with it, to be honest. He's like half growing his throwback, half not. Gotta say, I did quite like Buzzcut Salah, so I kind of hope he does that again. But yeah, I thought he was, other than that, there wasn't much to say about his performance. I mean, he looks sharp, don't get me wrong. I'm being harsh on him. He looks sharp, he's getting involved, he looks fit, as always, as you'd expect. And I'm not sure how seriously he takes pre-season these days. He was laughing quite a lot throughout the game. You know, he's 33 now. So how much does he value this apart from just for fitness? I'm not sure. But yes, Mo Salah, I give a 5. So Salah and Van Dijk 5s. You know, they're the two wise men of the group. But there we go. Harvey Elliott then. Now this one's a disappointing one, to be honest. I did not think Elliott was very good today. Gave the ball away a lot of passes he had. He just whacked it out of play, or whacked it straight to Milan. Just too heavy with his passing range. And to be honest, when he's playing with Wirtz in the team, you see the difference between a good player with potential, which is Elliott, and a real elite top player in Wirtz. You can just see the difference in the way they are. It's quite eye-opening, I think, to compare the two. Even though Wirtz wasn't necessarily amazing today, Elliott was just poor. I don't know. I really don't know. It was disappointing to see. He's playing double 10 with Wirtz. There wasn't necessarily a striker that he could link up with, but I don't know. He just, like I said, the chance he has with his right foot, he can't even kick it with it, so he just doesn't attempt to get to come back. It was there. It was an opportunity. Like I said, gave the ball away a few too many times. It's quite frustrating, really. So I'll give him a 3. Is that too harsh? I do think he was the worst player in the first half, which is a shame. Also not a fan of his boots. He's got like blue New Balance boots on. Not a fan. So that was a -point. I'll give him a 3. But again, he only played a half, so don't take too much weight from these. Rio Ngumoha on the left-hand side, though, that was certainly something you can take something from, because he looked electric again. I'll give him a 7, same as Wirtz. Thought he was really good in the short point of the match that we did see him, the first half. One time he gave the ball away, we got counter-attacked, which Slot mentioned in his interview as well, but I thought he lit up Tomori a few times, who must be thinking, who is this guy here? 16 years old. Again, you always have to say that when you talk about Rio. I loved how direct he was again. He had one where he just picks the ball up, runs directly at his man, little step over onto his left foot, super decisive. Shot was good connection, good save by Manyan on another day. He scores there. Gets the assist for the goal, despite it just being a very simple, here you go, Dominic, who pops it in the top corner, but does get the assist. Yeah, I just love how direct he is. I love how he runs at opponents, basically as soon as he has the ball. Looks like he's put on a bit of muscle, to be honest. Looks a little bit more muscly. And a lot of people are saying, should we just keep him as like a 6th choice attacker this year? And I'm starting to think maybe we could. I don't want to see him play all that much. We don't want to overwork this guy, but again, brilliant size today. I'll give Rio a 7, I think. Okay, that was the first team that started the first half. The first sub was Nyoni, who came on at the half-an-hour mark. He sort of snuck onto the pitch when Morton went off, like I said. Even the commentators, when Nyoni came on, they were like, oh, I think Trey Nyoni's come onto the pitch. They didn't even know. So there he was, ghosted on, and he gave the ball away quite a lot too. Looks a little rusty against the top opposition that Milan are. Yeah, thought he struggled a little. He did have some brighter moments in the second half. Had one where he took a nice touch in the box, and he could have had a shot, but he just tried to take on one person too many. And yeah, didn't get the shot away. gave the ball away at one moment quite poorly, and you could see he was really gutted, and then he ran to win it back, which was good. I was pleased to see that in the second half. And then he came off for Morton at the end. So, oh no, actually, sorry. I think did Gravenberch come off for him? Oh, I lose track, guys. Honestly, there was too many subs in this game. Gravenberch definitely did come off for somebody. It probably was Morton. So yeah, Nyoni. I'm not sure. I'm not sure this game, but I think I'll go 5. I think that's fair. Gave the ball away too much. All right. So then all the other substitutes came on at half time. So we'll go with Mamardashvili in the net. You must be thinking, what on earth was that? Because he came on. Loftus-Cheek scores, can't do anything. Okafor scores with like another bullet shot. Did Milan have like magnet shooting on today? What was going on? Okafor scores. And then he's thinking, sound, I've got nothing else to do for the rest of the game here. Barely had to do anything. Apart from when we score a second goal, he joins the defensive line to try and help get the ball forward. Gives it to Tsimikas. And we'll get to what Tsimikas did later. But before Mamardashvili knew it, he's legging back to his goal. And we saw that, yeah, he's not exactly blessed with speed, as you might expect. And Okafor again beats him to it and scores in the open net. So 3 goals, none of which are really down to him at all. And yeah, a bit of a shame for him, really. But I'll give him a 6. I don't think there was anything he could have done. Him and Ali are having a beard off, so that's always fun. So 6 for Mamardashvili. Okay, Conor Bradley. Pretty quiet game for Bradley, really. Didn't get forward all that much in the second half that he was on. So yeah, not all that much to say about him, to be honest. I think this one's pretty quick and easy. You got to go 6. You got caught running back on Leao, and Leao was too quick and powerful for him, which you don't say very often about Bradley. He's quick himself, but Leao's super quick and super powerful. Held him off, and they scored a second goal. So that was a bit of a shame for him that he couldn't get back. But yeah, not much else going forward. Did play a 1-2 and got, I think, or maybe that was Frimpong. Again, tough to say. There was just too many players today on the pitch. But yeah, I'll give him a 6 overall, and we'll just move quickly on to Ibou Konate. Yeah, it looked a little bit today like Konate, like his limbs were a little, like them inflatable tube men they have outside garages and stuff that sort of wave around in the wind. That was sort of how Konate looked a little bit today. Only if you took one of them and you injected it with loads of muscle. That was where we were with him. And what I mean by that is when they get that second goal, the ball gets chipped down the line, and he could win the tackle, and he doesn't. The ball breaks. He's not quite strong enough. The ball bobbles off his legs, and they get the chance to go through, and they score. Slot again pointed that out, that we weren't aggressive enough in the duel, and we lost it, and then they score the goal. He did play a really good cross though for Gakpo's header. It was a lovely cross actually, showing his ability to sort of join the attack and play make a little bit. So that was good. And he did have one moment also where he's holding off the player on the far side, and they got into a little tussle, and Ibou just, one point he was crawling on the floor, next minute the other fella was crawling on the floor, so Ibou came out on top, and that was always good to watch. So have I rated him yet? I'll give him a 6 as well, guys. We conceded 3 goals, but he did get a nice assist, so I give him a 6. All right. Kostas Tsimikas then, the Greek scouser. Oh, this guy, man. He's playing centre-back, so you've got to cut him some slack, but at times you're just like, what is he doing? He's overlapping our left-back at certain times. We were so exposed on counter-attacks. Again, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, just not impressed, really. And he plays a great through ball, to be honest. Brilliant through ball. Lines it up perfectly. Threads the lad in. There was no one there to stop the pass that he played, and it created a goal. It was unfortunate though that the goal was for Milan off Tsimikas' through ball, and the person he threaded the ball in behind was our own goalkeeper. So not ideal, really. Does he get an assist? I don't know. I mean, it was a massive error, wasn't it, guys? I don't know why he doesn't just pump the ball forward. But you've got to penalise him for that. So I think I'll give him a 4. It was pretty bad, or maybe even a 3. You know what? We'll give him a 4 just because he's funny. But I'd like to maybe not see Tsimikas at centre back in the season when it actually matters. Okay, Kerkez then at left back. I thought once again he looks like our brightest left back, considering we've got Robbo and Tsimikas in the squad now as well. Thought he looked bright, full of energy, super aggressive in his duels. Again, Slot pointed this out, so clearly Slot was impressed as well. Yeah, thought he did well. Won the ball when Gakpo had his chance that he missed. And I like to see his link up with Gakpo. He looks pretty solid on the left hand side. Put a few good crosses into the box, which if we'd have had a certain Hugo Ekitike or Alexander Isak in the box, maybe we'd have scored a few goals off them. Thought they were decent balls in. Yeah, nothing crazy. He did play a nice ball into Jones and then go for the return, which Jones kindly gave straight to Milan. And he scored. We'll get into that a little bit later when we get to Jones. But overall, Kerkez, I'll give a 6. Yeah, we'll give him a 6. And then we'll move on to Jones, like I just said. Gave the ball away really cheaply. Poor giveaway for the goal. Milan's third this time. And other than that, just a classic Jones game. You didn't notice anything crazy. Kept the ball here and there. Kept it pretty safe. Does look ripped, so that's something interesting, maybe, but I'll just quick fire through here. I'll give Jones a 6 as well. In fact, no, taking that back, I'm giving him a 5 because he gave the ball away for a goal as well, in a bad position. So we'll give him a 5. One player who did impress in the second half was Jeremie Frimpong, who came on at right wing. Is Frimpong just a right winger for us? Like, I don't know. Slot just keeps playing him on the right wing. Have we got no? Is it because we got no backup right wing for these half and half games? I don't know. I'd like to see him at right back a little bit as well. He did play right back against Preston, I suppose, and a little against Stoke. He looks good at right wing, and he came on at right wing today. Could have scored. Really good pass from Gakpo. Frimpong, great touch around Estupinian, and he gets the shot away. Would have liked to see him maybe go a little closer there. Had a bit more time to get the shot off, but again showed his speed, showed his attacking talent today. Taking on his fullback a few times, which I thought was nice. Got fouled a bunch, and the ref just wasn't having any of it. The ref in the second half was just having a jolly up, to be honest, jogging around, not giving any fouls. Fair play to him. You know, he was just enjoying the spectacle, the Hong Kong Football Festival. So Frimpong, good performance overall. I'll give him a 7. I think he was pretty good. Like, similar performance to Rio, really, on the left-hand side in the first half. Thought he did well. Could have scored. Stuck on his fullback. That's what you like to see. Also headband popped off at one point. So maybe we'll keep track of that during the season. Does Frimpong's headband pop off or not? Someone who it was difficult to keep track of in this game played striker for us today, Ben Doak. And the reason why it was difficult to keep track of him is because he barely touched the ball. Look, he's not a striker, he's a winger. He plays striker because all of our strikers are either not fit yet, not signed for the club yet, or leaving the club. So, Doak plays striker, very anonymous, didn't get involved really. Just got frustrated at one point and clattered into a guy. So, brilliant, love to see it. I'll give him a 6. Not going to penalise him for not getting involved today. Not really his fault. We'll give him a 6 and we'll just move swiftly on to the last player. I believe we've not missed anyone. We'll go Cody Gakpo, who I thought was pretty bright. One of our brightest players in the second half. Gets the goal with a lovely header. Hangs in the air for a while and heads it. It was sort of curled around into the back post. Lovely header. Gave the keeper no chance. So that was lovely. Also celebrated. Gave the Hong Kong fans something to cheer about, gave them the salute, even though we were 3-2 down, and then we instantly conceded again. But that was fun. He's having a good time out there. Lovely pass for Frimpong, like I said. Played some nice stuff with Kerkez down the left-hand side. So, Overall, I think I'll give Gakpo a 7. He was one of our brighter players in the second half. And that's where we'll settle with him. So that's everyone, guys. That's all the match ratings. Let me know if you agree, disagree in the comments. Would you give anyone higher or lower? Did you enjoy the ratings? We've got many more of these to come. And when we've not got 20 players, it'll be a bit better, less chaotic. Maybe we'll touch a bit more on what they did in the game rather than fire through 20 players. But I hope that wasn't too much all at once. And let's get into the review of the game. So in the reviews, the point is to just have a little chat about what happened. What do we think? Any takeaways from the game? And today I think the main takeaway that I had personally was that we were way too easy to counter-attack today. We were counter-attacked a bunch of times, and a bunch of times they led to goals as well. And I'm not sure if that's solely down to personnel. You know, our defensive line in the first half was Stephenson, Gravenberch, Van Dijk and Robbo. You're saying probably only one of those is in our starting back four next year, our strongest back four, and that's Van Dijk, who looked rusty. Then you've got second half, Conor Bradley, Konate, Tsimikas and Kerkez. A little bit stronger there maybe as a back line, but you have got Tsimikas there who's nuts. And we were all caught too far up the pitch on numerous occasions. The midfield didn't really offer much protection, and them leaving Liao up and Salamakas on the other side, they were able to just counter-attack into loads of space. It was too easy, and Slot clearly wasn't happy with it. I think he'll take a look at that. Hopefully it's just a pre-season thing, but it's definitely worth pointing out. And I did bring this up in the Stoke video as well. A little bit about how if our shape is going to be the sort of 3 defenders back with the 2 midfielders in front of them, or at times just the 2 centre-backs back with the 2 midfielders in front, we have to be careful that we don't get counter-attacked in the wide areas, which was consistently where we were counter-attacked today. But Slot will know this, guys, so don't worry about it all that much. I'm sure he'll have a plan to sort of work this out and know what to do to address it. But yeah, it was a little disappointing today how often and how easily we were counter-attacked. That's certainly something to take away going forward. We will have Ekatike going forward as well. Slot said he should be available for minutes on Wednesday against Yokohama Marinos. Same with McAllister, hopefully is going to be back in training. Slot said not sure if he'll get minutes in the game. But it would have helped if we'd have had those 2 today, because you could see in the first half, especially when we had no striker, and I suppose the second half as well, we looked a little bit lacking of a focal point up there. No number 9. Which was a bit difficult to work with at times. And I thought Milan, whilst they weren't amazing, they showed that they were better than the levels of opposition we've played so far in Preston and Stoke. Just with a bit more quality in the attack, took advantage of some of our mistakes. And overall, our possession was good in the game. We had a lot of the ball, especially in the first half. We looked sharp. We looked like the better team, but ultimately that's all for nothing if you're just going to get counter-attacked instantly and sort of concede goals, which we actually saw a lot a few years back under Klopp. We were getting counter-attacked a lot. We didn't see it all that much last year, so hopefully Slot can stamp that out going forward. So yes, overall I think the game was a fun one to watch. It was good to see all the lads get minutes. Again, it's pre-season, guys, so don't take any of this too seriously, please. Don't worry about who played where and who played well and who didn't. Everyone's out of position. Everyone's getting minutes. There was cooling breaks. You know, the conditions are difficult. There was also flamethrowers at the side of the pitch. Do they contribute to heat? I want to know this. Like, does having a flamethrower in a dead hot stadium make it hotter or not? I'm not sure. But they were going off whenever there was a goal. So that was something. Slot had on a zip up with a formal shirt on underneath. So always on a Slot get up watch. You've got to take a look at this. And overall, not the best performance from Liverpool really, but a lot to work on. Good fitness for all the lads. A good run out. Don't take anything too seriously from this game, lads, as I said. And just enjoy the pre-season. Then we'll go again on Wednesday and hopefully beat Yokohama Marinos 27-0, hopefully. And everyone will stop worrying about this, because for now, the only thing we need to worry about is that our lads get fit for the new season. which is coming up in, is it less than 3 weeks now? That's exciting. Yes, so for now, guys, go and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully we get some more Isak news, or maybe some outgoings. We saw Diaz didn't play today, and Slot did confirm that was because he's in talks with a different club. We all know that club is Bayern Munich, and looks like we're probably resigned to selling him at this stage. Did say Nunez had a minor injury. Not sure if I believe that with Al Hilal's interest, but maybe it is an injury. Maybe there's nothing advanced there yet. So yeah, short match review today. Don't want to talk too much about it because it is a friendly, but that's my thoughts and takeaways. Nothing crazy really from that game. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like on the video. Like I said, subscribe to the channel. I'd love to see the love that the channel's been shown recently. Let's see if we can get that going before the season starts. Keep improving. We will do match ratings after every game next season. So if you did enjoy them today, please let me know. And let me know, like I said, if you agree or disagree with any of the ratings. Drop a comment and let me know. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Have a great rest. Let's do that again. Have a great rest of your weekends. Enjoy the sun. And until Wednesday's game, or maybe some transfer news, I'll speak to you then. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll speak to you all very soon. Goodbye.